Hi everyone, today we're talking about if it's a good time now to go and buy Microsoft. And I really make this video because I haven't really made too many videos about Microsoft recently. And as well, it's my biggest position in the stock market. And whenever some kind of big news comes out about Microsoft and being the biggest position in my stock portfolio, it seems like a good idea to make a video about it. So the reason why we're talking about it is because Microsoft came out with some news about upping the dividend, which we were kind of expecting them to up anyway, or as an investor, in my kind of point of view, is that I'm kind of invested into them expecting a dividend increase every kind of year. But as well as that, there was kind of a new buyback program, which a few analysts have kind of come out and said that was a really good thing. At the same time, some came out and said that there was not really much point doing it. My kind of opinion overall is that it's just another thing to add to why the stock is such a good thing to invest in. You know, it's not anything amazing, but at the same time, it's just another positive to go with the stock because I think it's a great stock anyway, and obviously that's why it's my #1 position. But we're going to talk about Microsoft, about this news, and from now is now a good opportunity to go buy Microsoft overall. So obviously the dividend was really good. That was 11% increase, and obviously the buyback is obviously going to help that share price go up. Now, normally companies tend to buy a lot of shares when they feel like their stock is undervalued. So that's kind of signaling, right, so if Microsoft think their stock is really undervalued, or it's sometimes a good use of free cash, is it a good opportunity for investors to go buy into this stock? Now, to be perfectly honest with you, even though Microsoft is my #1 position, when it's at these prices, I don't tend to buy at 52-week highs. And as well as that is that I tend to not buy stocks on positive news. I tend to buy stocks on negative news. So I kind of always do the opposite to what's going on. So if Microsoft came out and said that they were cutting the dividend, it's probably a time where obviously I'd have to study it and make sure there's nothing else going on in the background that's really affecting the company. But at the same time, I'll probably look at that and go, this is probably going to be a good opportunity to go buy because the stock will go down. When positive news comes out, that's not really when I do go buy the stock. If positive news does come out though, I kind of remember that and then think, oh, and the stock goes down in a month's time. I think back to a month ago when this positive news comes out, and that's always a bull case for the stock going forward. But really, positive news I don't invest in. But it was good news for the company, but that news alone isn't anything to go buy the company in my opinion. But overall, the company seems pretty good. Well, it's still in a good position at the moment. So when we look at the stock chart, obviously, especially over the last 2 years, the stock's done absolutely phenomenal. It's a stock that I've always recommended. It's been the stock that I have recommended to buy the most in my stock market channel since I've been doing videos, really. It's a stock that I talk about so much, and I've recommended it. And it still is, really, to be fair. I mean, it's at $140 now, which is near all-time highs. Like I say, I don't normally buy near highs. But when we do look at the company as well, one thing that I kind of didn't realise until I checked the other day is the PE still sitting down at 27, which is quite low. When we look at a growth stock that's growing at 10% revenue and EPS, these PEs tend to be in the 30s, 40 ranges, and for it still to be in the 27 range, I'm really happy with that. So it kind of signals that it's still not massively overvalued. It's not undervalued right now, these prices, but it's definitely a fair value with a P at that when it's offering so much potential. Obviously, the great balance sheet, and with the great balance sheet, we're still getting the dividend upped. We're still getting this buyback. It's got great management. You know, the turnaround over the last 2 years being phenomenal, and that's why the stock price has gone up. For me, I've always said that Microsoft is a 5-star stock because it's got the 5 things I look for in a company, which are all these things. And the multi-income stream is massive. I like to invest in companies that have multiple income streams. So then if one income stream goes slightly sour or negative, the other income streams can cover that. Whereas companies that only have one income stream, if that income stream hits some bad news, it tends to slow everything down in the company. So that's why I try to go for stocks that have all of these multiple income streams. I could talk about each individual income stream, but to be honest with you, I'd spend a while talking about them, and I've covered them on previous videos as well. So if you do want to see that, just go check previous videos out. The great management, the EPS, the revenue growth, 13.7% EPS growth, 11.04% growth. So we've still got double-digit growth, and when I invest in growth companies, I like to see them double-digit growth that Microsoft's still offering. The only time I'd really consider selling Microsoft, to be honest with you, is when those EPS and sales start dropping below the 10% mark. Now, when I do invest into a growth company, I normally do set myself a target to sell. But with Microsoft, I generally don't have a target all to sell. I think the only time I'd sell, like I say, is when them income streams drop below 10%. And to make it worthwhile, Microsoft actually pay a decent dividend, and because it's such a fantastic company with such a fantastic balance sheet, that dividend is actually still going to get carried paying out, and it's going to get increased every year at the moment. So even though I kind of have no sell kind of target, it makes me worthwhile holding this stock just so I can keep that dividend coming in as well. So for me, fantastic stock. It has everything that I want in the company. But if we're talking about time to buy Microsoft, I'd probably say no, because at the moment I don't like buying at 52-week highs. I think my average price of owning Microsoft shares right now is around the $109 mark, and I won't consider buying Microsoft until it drops below the $120. I used to say like below the $100, and then a little while ago I changed it to $110. Now I'd probably consider below $120 if I'm going to buy Microsoft. I would love to extend the position. I have no plans to sell, but for me at the moment, I probably won't buy Microsoft until it drops a little bit more. And it's very useful that I've already got a nice healthy position already. If I was desperate for Microsoft shares and I haven't had any and I hadn't built my position up, would I go buy at these prices? I might do if I was a new investor, but because I bought at reasonable prices and good prices and undervalued prices, I don't really have that problem right now. So for me, I won't buy Microsoft. A fantastic stock though, you know, that's why it's my number one position, and it will continue going up from value from here. But just from my personal point, I don't need to add in my position right now, and I can have that patience to wait for the stock to hopefully have a drop at some point, and that's when I would buy. So guys, that's me talking about Microsoft and the news that came out about the dividend increase and the big buyback program. If you were kind of interested in Microsoft or Microsoft shareholder, I really hope that helped you. If you could give the video a like, guys, that's absolutely amazing. Subscribe if you haven't, really helps the channel out, and I'll see you in the next video.